This is Tanks Vlog, March 18th, 2019, wrapping up today in sports. We have our brackets. As 68 teams come together with one goal, and that is to reach the Final Four in Minneapolis at US Bank Stadium. Now, interesting to note, the last two times the Final Four was in Minneapolis, Duke won. Duke is this year's number one seed. Duke, when they have been full strength, have not lost all season. Now, they lost an early game this year to Gonzaga, but that was on the third day in a row of playing. They looked a little tired that day. The other losses that Duke suffered were with a variety of injuries. So Duke's getting healthy. Zion Williamson is back. Zion Williamson's bad. Zion Williamson has just had a strong ACC tournament to get Duke to the number one seed, winning the ACC championship. If Zion is okay, CJ Barrett's ready to go, Katie Bardador, I think we're going to be seeing the Dukies cut down the nets again. Now, as for the other Final Four teams, we really have a good selection of number one seeds. Now, I don't like Virginia. Virginia, they choked last year. I think they're going to choke this year. I don't think Virginia will reach the Final Four. Gonzaga, Gonzaga is a good team, but I don't think they're really that tested, even though they did beat Duke in Maui. I like to see Michigan maybe make it back. I think we're going to see a number of number one high seeds. I don't really know if we're going to have a Cinderella story this year. Because just how powerful these top seeds are this year. But one thing for sure is I'm really liking Duke. With Zion Williamson, I just think Zion Williamson is just an amazing player. I think Mike Francesa is completely a windbag for thinking that he's not going to be a top player. But it's just looking at what's going on. I wouldn't be surprised to see a dream showdown of Duke versus North Carolina. Carolina, especially in their semifinal loss in the ACC championship game tournament, showed that they were truly one of the top teams. So here we go. I'll have my picks for you in a few days. But like I said, I like Duke. I'm not ready to give my Final Four yet because I got to do a little more thought into it. But I'll tell you one team to look out for to make a good run for upset is Buffalo. Another team I like to perhaps make some noise in this tournament is Belmont out of the playing game. There's always seems to be one play-on winner that reaches the Sweet 16. I think that's going to be Belmont this year. I think Oregon can cause some havoc. And that's what we're going to see. We're going to see the tournament come together. I think one of the best games we might see is Duke versus Michigan State. That could be an exciting Elite Eight game if form holds. And just think, we might have some of the best matchups later in this tournament. I just don't really see that. I don't see a true Cinderella this year. This is going to be I think this is going to be a year where you might see a lot of chalk. But one thing for sure is St. John's did not deserve to be in this tournament. You know, if you're in the first four, are you really in the tournament? I've always felt that's kind of question there. Of course, they call it the field of 68, but then those playing games are almost like on the outside looking in the tournament that you had to actually win that game to get into the real tournament. So we'll see what happens. I'll have a full preview for you on Wednesday into Thursday. Stay tuned. NBA. Nets lost a heartbreaker. As their road trip, their 7-game road trip, has started with 3 straight losses. That is not what the Nets wanted to happen. And today it was Lou Williams hitting a buzzer-beating 3-pointer to give the Clippers a 119-116 win at Staples Center. What's interesting is that the 2 New York teams met the 2 teams from LA, and it was the Knicks. The Knicks getting a rare win, improving to 14-56 on the season, as they beat the Lakers for the second time this year. Yes, that is right. The Knicks have swept the Lakers. Oh, and LeBron, you know, the debate is over. LeBron James might be a great player. He might be a top 10 player. He might be a top 5 player. But he will never, ever be the GOAT. He will never, ever be as good as Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan never checked out mentally. LeBron James has checked out mentally. I mean, he's getting his lunch handed to him at the end of games. He's showing up disinterested at the end of a bench. Absolutely showing up his teammates. He doesn't give a damn what he's doing. And, of course, Mario Hezonja just absolutely stealing him, taking his lunch money at the end of the game there, as the Knicks got a 124-123 win. Oh, what an embarrassing season this has been for the Lakers. Their playoff hopes are dead. And I think it is totally great. I'm totally happy to see the Lakers fail to make the playoffs, and hopefully they fail this offseason. But, you know, they're going to be a super team probably next year, because that's how the NBA wants it. The NBA always friggin' fixes it for the Lakers. But damn, that feels so funny that the Lakers have failed this year. I love it. I love it. I love it. It was the Heat beating the Hornets 93-75. That was a big win in terms of playoff positioning. The 76ers went into Milwaukee, stunned the Bucks 130-125, despite a huge game from Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had 52 points, 16 rebounds, and 7 assists. It was the Pistons over the Raptors, so that loss for the Bucks did not hurt very much. Now, the Pistons are the 6th seed. That's with the Nets struggling out on the West Coast. It was the Magic 101-91 winners over the Hawks. The Kings beat the Chicago Terribles 129-102. And the Rockets shot down the Timberwolves 117-102. In the NHL, the Devils' struggles continued, as they were blanked by the Avalanche 3-0. The Sabres finally got off the schneid, winning in a shootout 4-3 over the Blues. The Islanders, they got back on the winning track as Brock Nelson scored in overtime to beat the Wild 3-2. The Canucks beat the Stars in a shootout 3-2. It was the Flyers 2-1 winners in overtime over The Penguins rallying late in this one. In the Battle of Pennsylvania, Flyers still hold up hope for the playoffs, as James Van Riemsdyk scored the game winner. It was the Ducks 3-2 winners over the Panthers, and the Vegas Golden Knights doubled up the Oilers 6-3. Today's birthday shout-out goes to Zdeno Chara. The longtime Bruins captain is still going strong at the age of 42. Today's 3 stars are Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had 52 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists in a losing effort. Joel Embiid, who led the 76ers in that same game, had 40 points, 15 rebounds, 6 assists, while Carter Hart had 41 saves and allowed just one goal as the Flyers came back to beat the Penguins. And we take a look back to 1944, when the Montreal Canadiens finished their season without losing a game at home, finishing 23-0-2, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. So check out the story behind the 1944 Montreal Canadiens at the Barstool Sports and at Sports Encyclopedia. Good day.